Something to remember while Mars is in Cancer. The enemy could be an emotion. It may not necessarily be the person that you're having a conversation with or that you are around at the time. Could be your own emotions, all right? How do we navigate a space where the emotions could be the enemy and it's not necessarily the person who is having the emotion? If this is you, if you are the person who is having the emotion and that emotion feels like the enemy, two different directions that I personally sit with when this happens. One, I ask myself, do I need to sit with this? Is this an emotion coming up that's coming up because it needs to tell me something? And is what it needs to tell me important? Sometimes fear pops up and I need to sit with it. I got to understand, why am I afraid of this? And if I can do that and I sit with the blockage of that emotion, normally I can move forward with the other work that I was trying to do. Sometimes though, and this is the other direction, sometimes that's not so true. Sometimes fear pops up and it's literally just to distract me. Sometimes doubt pops up literally just to distract me. And so in those moments, I have to sit and validate it. And once I do sit and validate it, I'm like, okay, well, what emotion do I actually really need to sit in so that I can move forward with this? Whatever is in front of me that I need to be doing at the time. And then once I realize that, okay, well, I'm going to be courageous. I'm going to sit in that emotion. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to sit in that emotion that I need to feel. I'm going to go and activate that. Love, inspiration, strength, okay? However it is that you need to sit in the emotion that you need, if you can activate it, bravery and courage. It takes both of those to be able to step over that sort of like gross feeling of whatever it is that you are feeling that you don't want to feel. And Mars in Cancer asks that we're able to discern between those two directions. Is this something we need to sit with? Does it need to take priority? Because Mars is about prioritization and strategy. Or can this sit on the back burner, and maybe if we put it on the back burner, it'll just die down. The flame of that emotion just dies down now. And let's go and activate what it is that is a priority in this moment. Something else to keep in mind is that this Mars in Cancer, it's going to be an indirect ruler of the upcoming eclipse in Libra, because we have Venus in Scorpio, which is ruling over the Libra eclipse, okay? And one of the rulers of Scorpio is Mars. So this activation of emotions and like discernment of what emotion is priority and do you need to sit with it or do you need to keep going? How you're sitting with that is part of the way that you're setting up your next eclipse season or cycle for like the next 6 months. Also, these eclipses will have themes 9 years from now and 18 years from now, 18 and a half years from now or so. So bigger picture of activation of emotion. For me, this is definitely a time where I'm like, I've been a grumpy person for several years now. So how can I bring more joy into my life? That's one of the questions I've been asking myself during this season. If you find that that is similarly applicable, sit with it how you need to. Gratitude, reverence, and love to you. Full podcast about the upcoming week with the eclipse into the first quarter moon of this season is up on the podcast, YouTube, Spotify. It's also on Apple Podcasts and Amazon Music. But you can find links to that on the website. Shout out to you for checking it out too. And if you want updates about that, the blog is the place to be for that. So there's notes on the blog for the week as well. I just launched season 2 of the podcast. So we started today. Today is the day that we started season 2. Can't believe I've been doing the blog and the podcast for like the blog a little bit over a year, but the podcast has been almost a year now. So crazy. It's super weird. Anyway, different structure for season 2, but we're moving forward together. Very clever. So I leave that with you. Go do what you need to do. Go brew. And I'll talk to you soon.